Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. This is our Draft Prospect Show. Along with Vincent Turner, I'm Harper LaBelle. Our producer and engineer is Logan Landers. And Vincent, we're going to talk today about Jeffrey Bassa, a linebacker, inside linebacker from the University of Oregon. He's 6'2". He's about 230 pounds. I've heard he's up to about 235. He's getting bigger. He's getting faster. He's getting stronger. He's got an invite to the Senior Bowl. That's where he is this week. He's working on all the things that you would need to work on to get yourself to be one of those day one guys. Right now, he's listed as a day two prospect. He's got speed. He's aggressive. He's smart. Tell me a little bit more about Jeffrey Bassa that I would need to know if I were a general manager of any NFL team to be able to go, you know what, this might be a number one pick, but for right now, we maybe have him in a day two uniform wearing our colors.
Jeffrey B, baby, quack, quack, University of Oregon. Played under a good defensive coach in Dan Lanning out of Kearns High School in Salt Lake City, Utah. Very highly recruited football player in high school. But what I like about him, went to Oregon as a safety hawk. Then he moved into linebacker. And when you're talking about his skill set, explosive, can do it all. 3-down linebacker, cover, hit, and blitz. Back to you, Hart.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you would, and part of, I think, his makeup is that he's played other positions. And I'm not sure if you're going to put him on the edge or anything like that. That's really not what his forte is, but his ability to cover at 6'2", let's say, probably out of high school, he's about 210. And someone on the defensive line might have said, he's getting too big for us to play safety. Let's put him inside. Right. And we've got room on the roster for a kid. Now, he's probably a little undersized up until the point where he gets to his senior year. But the numbers are indicative of a guy that can bring it. 54 tackles this past year. He had 1.5 sacks. He forced 2 fumbles, 2 passes deflected. Back in 23, officially 2 years ago, he had 71 tackles. He had an interception that he returned for a touchdown. And in one of the recent interviews that he did, this is what I like about Jeffrey, is his leadership, his ability to call out what everybody else needs to do. If the offense switches the formation, a guy goes in motion, he audibles with them and tells everybody what they need to do. So from a safety perspective, it's real important that the guy who's making those calls gets the right information to them, because they may need to switch their coverage. And in general cases, you do, and you need someone to be able to call that out for you to make it easier for the rest of the secondary to know how they're going to cover. Man press, are they going to go back into zone? Who's going to pick up who? All that is important. And the thing about the interview that I was very impressed with what Jeffrey had to say, he said, I embrace the green dot. I wanted to be that guy. I want to be the leader. The green dot is the thing on the back of your helmet that only one player on offense or one player on defense gets. And they have communication and a direct line to hear what the coaches are saying. The green dot, and on the defensive side, is usually an inside linebacker. And in the case of the Oregon Ducks, Vincent, it has been Jeffrey Bassa.
Jeffrey B. Like I say, here's a guy sideline and sideline. If I had to give a grade to him, A+. Great tackler in space, A+. Outstanding coverage linebacker, A+. But this is the thing that I like about this young man. He's a guy that when he gets to the next level, Harp, he's going to be able to call the plays. Raquan Smith does it at a high level. Fred Warner does it at a high level. But the gentleman, look at his body right there, Harp. And he put together, look at that right there. That's special. And it reminds me back in the day, and I'm sorry if you people don't like it, who said that I be putting players on there you don't remember, but hey, I only going to tell who I seen play. He got a little bit of J. Robinson in him that played at UCLA. California guy, you should remember him, Hart. Yep. He got a little bit of, I want to say, a guy who called plays, was a very explosive linebacker when I was at the University of Arkansas, Teddy Morris. Got a little bit of Gary Moulton that was at SMU. But most of all, when he's coming from safety to linebacker, and he has the ability to call plays, that tell me his FBI, football intelligence, is an A+ off the charts. But most of all, he's got a little bit of Richard Batman Wood. Remember when Richmond Batman Wood came out of New Jersey, he was a safety hawk that moved in the linebacker. Not only moved in the linebacker, as a true sophomore, he was calling the defensive signals. This was this kind of skill set this young man has. And if you want to see how good a football player he is, and I expect that he's going to be a day one selection, go back to the Wisconsin game. He had 8 tackles, game film. Go back to Illinois when he was ranked 20th in the country. He had 6 tackles there. Against Aston Gente and Boise State, second game of the year, he had 8 tackles there. And it reminds me of a player that you played against, Harp. There was another good Oregon player. He was a safety, played linebacker in college. You remember Anthony Newman? Real good football player with the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Went to Oregon. Jeffrey B. too. Back to you, Harp.
A nice career, did Anthony Newman. Hopefully Jeffrey will have the same type of career. Against the run, he does all the things that you would check off. Against the pass, his speed and his ability to know from a safety perspective what the tight end, what the slot receiver, what the running back is going to do, and his ability to cover them. It's as good as anybody out there. Against the blitz, he's very aggressive. He's strong. He's physical. He has great speed. So when he goes against a smaller running back, it'll be different than when you go against Derrick Henry, but he has the ability to get to the quarterback, even though he wasn't asked to do that a lot. What are some of his weaknesses? When he goes against a lot of bigger bodies, guards and centers that he has to make contact with at 230, and he's a little heavier right now, he's a little undersized. He's been able to use his speed to get around that. But at the NFL level, there's going to be guys that are 300 pounds, not 290, that are going to be hitting him. So bigger guys. Against play action, sometimes he'll go forward, he'll be too aggressive, and he'll bite. And so he's got to get back and play and get into coverage. Sometimes he emphasizes that. There are times against the run that he will over pursue in his ability to go, I think it's going to go there, and he's going to get there before everybody else does. And guess what? The back sees him and he cuts up and makes a break and goes against the grain. But his ability to cover just about everybody on the field, and I mean this sincerely, just about everybody, he can cover them. So that to me will be a great asset that he'll have in an NFL camp. His ability to make plays, his pre-snap reads, you mentioned his IQ. All are great things. His speed when he meets the running backs, especially on outside runs, is exceptional. So a lot of great things that he does. The thing that got me, though, is his leadership ability, his requirement that he makes of himself. When he calls himself, I'm going to be that green dot guy. That's what I want. I want that on me. Those are some things that this 6'2", 235-pounder from the University of Oregon are going to excel at. Give me your final thoughts here, Vincent.
A do-it-all linebacker. Cover, tackle, be able to call signals at the line of scrimmage, and a productive football player. And he's a guy that's got Fred Warner written all over him. I think it's going to be a day one selection. I think a team that gets him is going to be very satisfied because this is a complete linebacker coming into the 2025 NFL draft. Kudos to Phil Knight and the Oregon Ducks. Quite. Back to you, Hart.
Yeah, he's done some really good things. He's played in some big games. Obviously, the team didn't do well against Ohio State, but, we were number one team in the country all year, so he understands that kind of pressure. And dealing with just the basics of I'm a little undersized for this position, but I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not going to make that be a point to get me taken out of the ball game. So he will benefit somebody, whether he plays now. He's going to play in the Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl, and he'll be going against some of these bigger guys. So a lot of folks are going to be watching him exclusively to see whether or not he has first-round talent. I'm thinking he might be a day two guy, second rounder, but either way, he will be playing in the National Football League on Sundays in just a short time from now. So for Vincent Turner, for Logan Landers, our producer and engineer, this is our Draft Prospect Show. You've been watching 100 Yards of Football. We appreciate you being a part of the show. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.